Now, the shot was marginal for a little while, but landed on the fringe, and it's pretty good now.
Should make this about 80% of the time. It's for birdie. Nah, that's going to slide by to the left. Good work to get into that position, but couldn't finish it off. So the birdie not to be, and she'll brush that in for her par. The 13th is a long par 4, checking in at a full 507 yards. This is another picturesque hole with vistas of Bel Air and Benedict Canyon. Most players will want to steer their tee shots to the left to get a better view of the putting surface. Up at the green, a deceptive tilt left to right means that approaches that miss left can lead to a very difficult up and down. And this, a tee shot that fits the eye, and that'll be just fine. Well, too bad, Frank. That one rolled right off the green.
It was just coming out so hot. I didn't realize this all was this long. Long, short, here we go again. Now, this would be an unbelievable par if you can make this putt.
One under on the deck. Now to the 16th, the start of the longest three-hole closing stretch cumulative yardage in U.S. Open history. Yet incredibly, nary a par 5 in the bunch. All par 4s to finish, starting with this one at 542 yards. That will do just fine. Second shot straight ahead, and we go to Iona Stephen.
Well, there's 134 yards left to the flag, and the pin on the back portion in the left-hand side of this green.
You can't go wrong with finding the middle of the green. That's well done. Down to Iona. This for birdie.
Yeah, it's a long putt, so pace is important, but there's not a whole lot to it. I fancy the chances of getting this close.
Get up. Get there. Oh, yeah, won the saver there. That's from better than 40 feet and finds nothing but the bottom of the cup. Now to the 17th, a toughie at 520 yards. Look out from the tee, and bunkers will comprise a lot of what you see. But this really is a standout hole with beautiful sycamore trees providing an alluring backdrop. Up near the green, a series of 4 bunkers protect the front and left sides of the green, including one that's the closest thing of the course to a pot bunker. Oh no, lost that one dead right. And that ball definitely slowed up a bit. It'll wind up coming down in the heavy rough. Well, I know I'm paid to talk, but there's not really much to say about that. Best to just move on to the next shot. Fourth shot wants to get this close. And that ball kind of got away a bit coming out of the bunker, and it is going to roll off onto the fringe. Not a good hole of golf here. It is that time to pick up and move on. The closing hole here at the Los Angeles Country Club is a par 4 at 492 yards, featuring the widest 18th fairway. This side of St. Andrews, at points it could be as wide as 50 to 60 yards. The second shot is a tough one, though, to a narrow green flanked by thick rough and bunkers on either side. Ooh, some big drives today. That might be the biggest of the bunch. Good 20-footer here. Got it there, but not quite on target. Two over for the day. So, Frank, another round. Now, from the fabled East Course at Oak Hill Country Club, this is EA Sports' continuing coverage of the world of golf. With Frank Nobilo by my side, I'm Rich Lerner. Frank, as weekend golfers know, there's always part of your game that you're focused on. So I'll ask the question, what are you going to be looking at here today?
Tee to green. Rich, I know people always say putting's important. I'm not going to say it's overrated, but tee to green. If you want to play good golf day in, day out, fairways greens. That's the secret.
Four.
Well, that is right, and that could be trouble.
Shots fired.
And that's where you need to be, back into the fairway on this par 5.
Third shot, looking for a good one.
Well, had a good lie in the fairway, but couldn't do anything with it. That comes up woefully short.
The strike was fine on the pitch shot. Ball first, then turf. Just wasn't really hit hard enough.
A little tentative there, and that'll come up short. So a drop shot right there, and now at 1 over par for the day. Now to the 6th, which in fact was the old 5th hole here in years gone by. It's a long par 4 at a full 500 yards. Allen's Creek, which we saw on hole 1, makes an appearance here as well. EA Sports coverage of the world of golf brings us to the place where it all began. They've been playing golf here since the 15th century on the old course at St. Andrews. Rich Lerner up in the tower, pleased to be joined as always by Frank Nobilo. And Frank, we cannot talk about the old course without talking about bunkers. 112 of them in all. We know they can derail around, so what's the key to avoiding them?
You just mentioned it, really avoid those bunkers. They're beautifully positioned. You know, if they're downwind, you'd be surprised. The ball can run 60 or 70 yards. So you might be wondering why that bunker's down there, and then all of a sudden you find it. So just keep your eyes open. But yeah, hey, it's a beautiful walk, and that's really the way golf was invented and should be played, especially at St. Andrews.
Nobilo.
Key to this golf course is finding fairways. No surprise, 3-wood off the first tee. We might see that a few times today. Finds the fairway.
Rain's a-coming.
Second shot coming up. Let's check in for the first time with Notavigay the third.
110 gets to the hole. Hole cut right in the middle.
Not sure what happened there. Wrong club selection, poor execution. Regardless, a lot of meat still on that bone. Nope, good effort, but that's going to wander a few feet by. So she will finish that for her bogey here at the first, and it is a +1 start to her round. At the third hole now, Frank, it looks relatively easy, but you know there's some danger lurking somewhere out there on the old course.
There is. There's the pot bunkers down the right side. This is a tee where really you want to have an idea where that wind is coming from.
Yeah, it does look like it's going to fucking we'll get struck by lightning out here.
In the middle of the golf course, but if it's behind you, well, then it's worth challenging that right side.
And it's like hitting it on a tile floor. It just keeps on rolling.
Bogey at the last and found the rough here. It's going to be a little bit of a shock on the momentum because it's going in the wrong direction. That's the benefit of really bombing a tee shot down there. Sets up a simple little chip and a birdie.
Okay, little 2-footer for birdie, not a problem, and that was well played. Frank, the old course all about avoiding the pot bunkers. They're so nasty. This is a good example here, the 9th hole.
Yeah, the pot bunkers really to be avoided are the ones in the middle of the fairway, but there are some that sneak in on the left side, plus that gorse on the left. If you can carry that last one, which is called the end hole, then there's a chance to perhaps drive this green.
Oh, this is going to be way down there. And no issues there. Good tee shot in the short grass. This will be a 14-foot putt here. Pretty good read there. Definitely good speed, and that just skips a foot or so by. Just a tap in there for par at the 9th. And she'll card a 36 for her opening 9. That's even par.
Frank, how do you like the 12th hole here at St. Andrews?
Well, it's a beautiful par 4. You start to see the village of St. Andrews in the background, Eden Estuary to the right, and also decision time. If you're long enough, it's certainly worth having a crack at this par 4 with your tee shot. But if you're not a long hitter, then you've really got to worry about those 4 beautifully and well strategic positioned bunkers in the middle of the fairway.
I mean, that is a sight to behold. What a spectacular shot we just saw on the par 4 with a drive in 1. Yeah, you see so many of these long putts like that come up short. It's just hard mentally to hit the ball much firmer. Shouldn't be much in this for birdie. Ah, yes, very well read. To 1 under now for the day. Frank, you can actually play this 14th hole by taking a detour to another hole on the front side. Explain.
Yeah, that's the 4th hole. The 4th hole is adjacent to the 14th, and if you're in a little bit of trouble off the tee, there's nothing wrong with playing the 14th as a zigzag style par 5. So that means the drive, if it doesn't go down the right, you go further left and then back to the green. But it's a safer way, but a much longer option.
side. Oh, that was a beautiful golf swing right there. Everything working in harmony and a great result in the fairway.
That's a tough breeze to allow from, coming from the right. Did an excellent job of adjusting for that breeze, and tee shot finishes up in the fairway.
Got every bit of that fluid all the way there and got it to stop. Home in 2 on the par 5. So after reaching the green in 2, this will take a full swing with a putter, but it is for eagle. That one just lacking a little bit of pace, but not bad at all from there. A dead-on look here for birdie. Yes, a 2-putt birdie. That's in for a 4. Frank, no ordinary finishing hole, is it?
The 18th is named Tom Morris, one of the greats of the game many a year ago. And, of course, every great player has walked across Swilcan Bridge. You'll get the opportunity to do that after you hit that tee shot. If you're very long, you can drive this green, but avoid the Valley of Sin. Enjoy the walk all the way up golf's most famous finishing hole.
So far. Well, they claim it's a reachable par 4. We haven't seen a whole lot of people do it today. We just saw it right there. Well done. This one right at 25 feet here for eagle. That would have been a good one to convert on. Instead, that'll be left for birdie. Yeah, that's well played. It's a birdie at 18. And that will finish off our round of golf. Well, Frank, another great day for us up in the commentary box, as they say here in Scotland. That was a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, the old lady, she stood up good, that's for sure. Been there for so many years. And, St Andrews never plays the same way 2 days in a row. And you look around the town, the area, this really is, the word even special doesn't do it justice.
EA Sports welcomes you to the great state of Illinois and the North Course of fabled Olympia Fields for this edition of PGA Tour Golf. Alongside Frank Nobilo, I'm Rich Lerner, and partner, you and I have called a lot of rounds of golf through the years. I know there's always something that piques your interest. How about today?
Rich, every day brings you a chance to do something special. And when we get to sit in this perch, that's what I look for. And I don't want to see the head going down. I want to see that every single shot is a chance to do something special. That could be a chip. Maybe the chip goes in. Maybe it's a 30-footer that goes in. Maybe a drive gets rifled down the fairway. Do something special.
So for this round, it's just going to be the par threes we're focusing on, and the first one on the card comes here at the 6th hole. And that one not on the green, but not in a terrible spot either. Sitting up in the short grass. Now, from Olympia Fields Country Club, due south of downtown Chicago, this is EA Sports coverage of PGA Tour golf. With Frank Nobilo by my side, I'm Rich Lerner. Frank, as weekend golfers know, there's always part of your game that you're focused on, so I'll ask the question, what are you going to be looking at here today?
Tee to green, Rich. I know people always say putting's important. I'm not going to say it's overrated, but tee to green, if you want to play good golf day in, day out, fairways greens. That's the secret.
Second shot now, here at the par 3. Oh, missed the green at the par 3. No problem. That is in from off the putting surface for an unlikely 2. Long par 3s are becoming more in vogue in professional golf. We saw some long ones at the 2023 U.S. Open at the Los Angeles Country Club, and we find another here at the 251-yard 8th hole. The green slopes from back left to front right and is fronted by a quartet of bunkers. And that one not on the green, but not in a terrible spot either. Sitting up in the short grass. The tee shot left her here on the par 3. Now a long one for her second. And that a little beyond the hole, but a good shot.
This is a 9-footer.
Yeah, good concentration there. That's a distance where a putt could get away, but that in for a par. The 13th is a 168-yard par 3. It is the number 18 handicap, but that doesn't mean it's not without its share of peril. Bunkers protect the green short and right, while thick trees and bushes cause big problems for anything pulled offline to the left. Okay, that one passed the hole just a bit, but a birdie try upcoming. We turn to Nota Begay III for this look at birdie.
And this is pretty flat all the way. I don't think there's much in it at all.
That one just gonna sneak on by. close to a birdie, but she'll be left shaking her head as she finishes that for a par. The final three-hole stretch begins here at the par 3 16th. It's a long one at 215 yards. Butterfield Creek again makes an appearance short and right of the hole. But of greater concern, those bunkers short, right, and left. Going long leads to issues as well, and balls can wind up well below the putting surface. Now this, her second into this par 3.
Oh, and that came out of the rough way too hot. But it is back in the thick stuff. More problems.
Just 5 feet left.
Yep, that one goes down. It is a bogey, and that score will fall out of red figures as it's back to even par. Frank, you know what? I think about it. EA Sports coverage of PGA Tour golf brings us to South Carolina amidst the sprawling dunes and sandy vistas that comprise the ocean course at Kiowa Island. Alongside Frank Nobilo, I'm Rich Lerner. Frank, this golf course is a challenge. Kiowa Island, what makes it so tricky?
First and foremost, the weather. You could play 2 rounds of golf at Kiowa and you wouldn't think you were playing the same golf course. You play it on a still day, course is relatively easy and a fun walk. Play it on a windy day and this is just flat out hard. Rough off the tee, straight out of the gate. That's interesting. So much will depend on the lie.
Second shot coming up, and we say hello to Iona Stephen.
We have 124 yards left to the hole. Ball sitting in the rough, needs to be careful of that flyer.
Nah, just caught it fat out of the rough. Never had a chance of reaching, and now it is time to regroup and try to escape with a par.
It's only the first hole, and the touch, as we can see, is sadly lacking.
Now, from the home of the 2021 PGA Championship, EA Sports coverage of the world of golf brings us to South Carolina and the Ocean Course at Kiowa Island. Alongside Frank Nobilo, I'm Rich Lerner, and partner, you and I have called a lot of rounds of golf through the years. I know there's always something that piques your interest. How about today?
Rich, every day brings you a chance to do something special. And when we get to sit in this perch, that's what I look for. And I don't want to see...
EA Sports and the PGA Tour, so proud to bring you continuing coverage of the world of golf. Rich Lerner joined up in the booth by Frank Nobilo. Frank, there's nothing like it early tee time to get the adrenaline flowing.
And also, too, the golf course is perfect. Less divots.
Bagpipes.
You don't see any sort of marks on the green. Greens are going to putt beautifully. There's also, the course is a little bit softer. It's got the moisture from overnight. And also, when they've cut the golf course, there's that really green, fresh smell, like it's brand new.
Only par fives is what we're going to be focusing on here. So let's get out to the action on the tee at the par 5 fourth. And that one not quite able to hang on. It's into the bunker. The spirit of Scotland's ancient links alive and well at the picturesque Bandon Dunes Golf Resort here on the central coast of Oregon. Alongside Frank Nobilo, I'm Rich Lerner. And Frank, you look out at this magnificent complex here in Oregon. You could almost talk yourself into believing that you're in Scotland. What are you thinking about when you're getting ready to play a links-style course like this?
Well, what's the best shot I can take with my camera around the golf course? So, yeah, it's stunning, but links golf's fun. Let the ball go to the ground every now and again if you're in trouble or in two minds. Nothing wrong with letting that ball bounce a little short and running its way up onto the green.
driving it straight, a big part of playing this golf course well, and that's a good start there in the fairway at the first. Second shot forthcoming from the left side of this fairway.
Yeah, it's a decent-sized green. It's not bad, just a little past the hole.
12 feet still to go.
Ooh, good speed there. That'll leave just a couple of feet. So from the fairway to the green, 2 putts and in. That's a good solid par here at the first. On now to the second here at Bandon Dunes, a long par 3 coming in at 220 yards, and it is every bit of those 220 as well, as it can play up to 30 feet uphill depending on the tee box. Fortunately, shots that run long do have a tendency to funnel back down. Oh dear, that looks thick in there. This one should run a second to this par 3. Nope. Okay, so a solid par at the first, but problems here at 2. It's a double bogey and a 2-over start to the round. On to our first par 5 of the round, the 563-yard third hole. Bunkers dot the fairway on each side, and they're penal.